Yeah, hi guys, my name's Howard. I'm a very grateful alcoholic, as I got tattooed there. And today is my 32nd birthday. I haven't done anything too exciting. I've been to work too much, and I sat down and watched a film with my lodger and ate some Chinese food, which was great. But more importantly, today is my 6th sober birthday. For 6 years, I've not had to pick up a drink or use any drugs. For an alcoholic like me, that's an amazing place to be. So I thought I'd do this video and reflect really on my last few birthdays using, mainly my 25th and my 23rd birthdays, but I'll go into that. So my 25th birthday was probably the most painful birthday of my life. I stayed in. Some of my friends had tried to contact me through the week. Not many. Slowly but surely, I'd alienated a lot of my friends through my drinking and using. I'd let a lot of people down, and also I stayed in a lot of the time. So because I stopped connecting with friends so often, or connecting with people, building or maintaining any relationships, there weren't so many people around in my life. In fact, there weren't many. So my 25th birthday, I remember it vividly. I stayed at home, and I didn't want to stay at home. But I knew if I went out, same with every time, it would be carnage, it would be chaos. It might be a police cell, it might be a drug dealer's house at the end of the night, it might be A&E, it might just be a more boring night of me going home with no money, probably owing someone money, probably letting someone down, borrowing someone, maybe getting in a fight, or at least winding someone up. So I'd stopped going out because I knew if I didn't go out, I wouldn't get the consequences with going out. And so I was desperately lonely, and I remember ignoring two of my friends called my mate Lewis and my mate Phil. A couple of days later, when I finally got back to Phil, he had a bit of a go at me for not answering the phone and ignoring his and Lewis's messages and calls. And I never told them why, but the truth was I just didn't want to go out because I knew what would happen if I went out. I knew I couldn't trust myself if I went out. So I just stayed in by myself, like I did most of the time. By the time I'd reached 25, like I said, if I don't go out, I knew at least the consequences halved. And it wasn't like I wanted to stay in. It wasn't like I wanted to become a lonely, miserable person just drinking by himself at home. I was just so desperate to stop getting in so much trouble, so desperate to end up owing drug dealers money, being arrested and just getting caught up in all this madness. I just didn't want to be a part of my life anymore, but didn't know how to stop. So that was my 25th birthday, my last birthday using and drinking. It would be another 6 weeks before I finally managed to stop, having tried. Spent the last 6 years before then trying to stop my drinking and, well, using. But it wasn't to be. And so the same was true for my 24th birthday. I didn't go out then either. The last 2 years of my life drinking were really like that, just staying at home, which was desperately lonely, to be honest, and a desperately horrible place to be. But I'll kind of tell you why. My 23rd birthday summed it up, really. We all went out. I all went out with a bunch of my friends. We went out to TGI Fridays and had a great night, drinking a lot of cocktails. We had a lot of fun, got in a bit of a trouble, got a bit rowdy, but nothing serious, and didn't hurt anyone, just a bit loud and boisterous and doing what me and my mates do best, being lads, really. And then it went back to a friend's house, which was alright, but there's a switch inside me when I drink too much that just instantly wants to take cocaine, and that switch flipped in me, as it always does, which is why I tried to avoid going out after I realised that. And we went back to a friend's house and partied probably till the early hours of the morning, and then they all went in around 3-4 o'clock in the morning. But I didn't. I let them believe I was, but I didn't. No, I went round, called up a couple of people. I drove round 4 in the morning, having spent all night drinking cocktails and taking coke, and refusing to get in my car naturally. When I got desperate enough, I got in my car. I went round to a drug dealer's house, and I spent the next day and a half in a crack den, essentially smoking crack, taking coke, watching people do horrible things like pick through the remnants of carpet to try and see if they've dropped anything once the last of their crack has run out. Hearing horrible stories of some of what the worst ones are up to, and nodding along and agreeing and just thinking, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing any of this. And you know what? Now I know, but I know most of those people, if not all of those people, didn't want to be doing that either, but we didn't know how to. There's a switch inside me, like I said, that once it gets flicked on, I can't turn it off. No amount of willpower is strong enough for me to turn it off. So that was my 23rd birthday, and that, to be honest, summed up a lot of nights. It wasn't often I'd smoke crack because I knew how dangerous it could be. So I just got addicted to just about everything else instead. But that summed it up. Desperately not wanting to be in situations, yet continually finding myself in them. And so yeah, I've had 6 years of not having to go through that carnage, and not having to go through that turmoil, and not walking through the door into chaos and wondering, who's going to be pissed off, what family are going to be pissed off, is my girlfriend going to be annoyed because I disappeared for 3 days and turned my phone off, or any of that carnage. I haven't had that for 6 years, and what a better place it's been. I've celebrated some birthdays in other countries with other people, which was fascinating and fantastic. And yeah, I've spent more other birthdays like today doing nothing special, working on a Saturday, then sitting down and watching a film, but that's okay, Today I'm content with things like that because my life is more than enough. I do enough amazing things. Still paying off a wedding I had in Bali, which wasn't too bad either, with 6 weeks spent over there, so I can't really complain when I say I worked all day on a Saturday on my birthday. But yeah, if any of you are in that place, sick and tired of having consequences from going out, whether it be a birthday or every other day, then just all I can do is urge you to get some help. Call a local support group, call us, call a different rehab, just reach out for help. Your birthdays don't have to be carnage. Your birthdays don't have to have a huge stack of debt slammed up after them. Your birthdays don't have to end in police cells like my 18th did, or A&E like my 18th did after I got out of the police cell. It just doesn't have to be that way, but all you got to do is stop and ask for help. If you can't stop trying to do it by yourself, because my experience is that for me, and for most of the people I work with, if not 99.9% of the people work with, it just doesn't work. So please get help.